Latin America, governments have historically been much more open about reports of so-called unidentified aerial phenomena.
We get reports every night.
I don't know what the hell it is. It looks like a rotating light around it.
With these unknown aircraft that had no wings, no cockpit, no intakes, no exhaust, and that were somehow seemingly able to fly.
No such thing as aliens. Oh. And I just going around and we need to start an alliance.
Just minutes ago, a fight between the military and alien visitors broke out, and the government is not disclosing anything. There is a war going on right under our noses. What if the fantasies we once laughed about are now hidden by government conspiracies? Let us explore the shocking evidence that the government wants to keep hidden at all costs. Military insights into UFOs. It seems UFOs and the military are at war. Or what's worse, aliens are ready to take over. At a public hearing, David Grush, David Fravor, and Ryan Graves, all former military personnel, shared their experiences. Fravor and Graves talked about how they often saw strange flying objects. David Grush, however, did not see these objects himself, but knew of a government program from the 1930s that collected technology from these unknown sources. The Pentagon denies these claims, maintaining their stance that such events never occurred. The hearing highlighted a significant issue. Even people within the government, like some members of Congress, are not fully informed about these matters. This lack of transparency has led to calls from some senators for a new committee that would make all information about UFOs public. They argue that this is crucial for national security. The public's desire to understand what is happening in the sky above them is growing. This is not just about curiosity. It's about feeling safe and informed about potential threats or visitors from other worlds. Ryan Graves emphasized that it is our right to know about these occurrences. An 87-year-old insider from Israel has made some bold statements, revealing that the United States has established agreements with extraterrestrial beings. According to him, these two parties have teamed up to explore outer space. He even suggested that Elon Musk's ambitious plan to colonize Mars may be unnecessary because, he claims, there is already an underground base on Mars where Americans and aliens are cooperating. If this claim is accurate, it would resemble a scene from a science fiction movie, with humans and extraterrestrial beings working together under the surface of Mars. One can only imagine what their interactions might be like. What languages or methods do they use to communicate? What new and significant knowledge might we gain from such a unique collaboration? It's a bit hard to believe that we're trying to communicate with aliens by sending a shiny gold disk into space. In 1977, NASA decided to send these so-called Voyager golden records into the universe. Created by the well-known astrophysicist Carl Sagan and his colleagues, these disks contain Earth's sounds, music from different cultures, greetings in several languages, and even images. However, one has to wonder how aliens are supposed to understand what's on a gold disk with strange symbols. Imagine an alien finding this disk. It would be completely confusing. Humans might like the idea of using universal symbols, but assuming that beings from another galaxy could decode these symbols seems far-fetched. We can't use English, numbers, or any human-like methods. Instead, the team had to invent a new set of symbols meant to bridge the gap between different cosmic cultures. For example, one of the diagrams on the record shows a hydrogen atom's electron changing its spin, a unique process for each element, shown by specific wavelengths. This is smart science, hoping that if aliens figure this out, they might use it as a universal reference. The record also includes a star map showing pulsars, which are basically space lighthouses. Each pulsar emits light at a unique frequency, making them useful for navigation, if you know how to read the map, that is. The record even tries to incorporate a time element. A bit of uranium on the cover is supposed to act as a space clock, telling aliens when the record was sent. These records are not just a friendly hello. They are a message thrown into the vast unknown, hoping someone out there might find it and, incredibly, understand it. Switching focus to another bold attempt. the 1974 Olympic broadcast. This message was sent from a large telescope in Puerto Rico out into space. It's a bold move, but it's just a small action in the grand scheme of things. We've been accidentally sending signals into space for a long time, like old TV shows. It's a bit concerning to think about. What if extraterrestrial beings see an episode of an old comedy show? Not all TV signals are powerful enough to escape Earth's atmosphere, and those that do tend to weaken over distances. It's like throwing a small stone into a huge ocean and expecting someone in another country to see the ripples. During the lead-up to World War II, a notorious dictator renowned for his distinctive mustache delivered a powerful speech that was broadcast far and wide. Ironically, this speech might be the first thing aliens hear from us, a rather embarrassing first impression to make in the vast theater of the universe. Efforts to communicate with potential extraterrestrial life included sending messages to distant stars. One such attempt in 2002 targeted a dead star, and another in the 1980s aimed at 2 stars, with the hope of receiving a reply by 2030. However, not all scientists agree with these attempts at interstellar communication. Some are concerned that even if aliens were to respond, the chances of us detecting these signals are extremely slim, as our messages cover only a tiny fraction of our galaxy, comparable to whispering in a gigantic, mostly empty hall. After exploring our world, let's turn to the stars and the messages we send to potential alien life. The question of the WOW signal. Regarding the content of these messages, projects like the Beacon in the Galaxy have tried to encapsulate all of human knowledge, from mathematics to biology, in forms that aliens might understand. But the problem remains: how do you ensure that beings from another world, with potentially very different senses and perceptions, can understand a message written in binary code, a system of ones and zeros that even confuses some of the smartest people on Earth? It's likely that the nuances of binary code, let alone the details of human diagrams and illustrations, might be incomprehensible to them. The Arecibo message represented humanity's first major attempt to send a structured communication to the stars, directed towards a star cluster about 21,000 light-years away. This message was a straightforward digital banner of sorts, containing basic data about humans and our solar system. Although it's highly unlikely that we'll receive a response to this message, it stands as a testament to our desire to reach out beyond our own world. The WOW signal of 1977, a surprising and powerful radio signal detected by a telescope in Ohio, sparked considerable excitement among scientists. This signal, lasting just 72 seconds, is still one of the strongest pieces of evidence suggesting that we might not be alone in the universe. Despite extensive efforts, this signal has never been replicated or explained, leaving us with more questions than answers. At 11:30 a.m., an astronomer found a signal so unusual that he quickly circled it on the datasheet and wrote "WOW" next to it, which is how it got its name. This signal was a strong burst of radio waves that appeared suddenly and was never detected again, leaving many unanswered questions. Scientists have been trying for a long time to figure out where it came from. They think it might be from a star in the Sagittarius constellation, but they are cautious about making any definite claims. Another strange scientific effort, researchers interested in both whale behavior and outer space life came together with a goal to communicate with whales. They focused on a humpback whale they named Twain. They didn't have deep conversations about life under the sea, but they did manage to exchange simple greetings using sounds specially made to mimic whale calls. Impressively, Twain responded to these sounds, timing her replies to match the intervals of the researchers' calls. This wasn't just basic animal response, it was an actual back-and-forth exchange. Scientists believe understanding this whale communication could someday help us figure out how to talk to beings from other planets. Think of it, learning cosmic communication skills from whales. Meanwhile, a video from Charun has been making waves on the internet. It shows a strange, thin figure walking down a road, captured by bikers on the Chadam Bridge in the Hazaribagh district. This has sparked intense discussions online about whether this figure is an alien, a ghost, or some combination of both. People describe it as both ghost-like and alien-like, noting its unusually thin legs and odd appearance. One would assume that an alien, especially one that has successfully stayed hidden until now, would avoid being so visible. Yet, here it is, seemingly ignoring years of hidden existence. It raises the question, is this just an inept alien? Despite its unsettling appearance, the creature continues to attract attention. If aliens are watching, they might find themselves both feared and fascinating in our eyes. The skies are busy with strange sightings. 1,100 unidentified unidentified flying objects were reported last year alone. According to Ufology Research of Manitoba, this boils down to about 3 sightings every day. It seems that the fascination with these unexplained sightings is growing, with more reports coming in every year. Take British Columbia, for instance. Known for its stunning landscapes, it's also becoming famous for frequent UFO sightings, about 3 each day. It seems these remote areas might be popular hiding spots for UFOs and perhaps even Bigfoot. Maybe the lights people see aren't alien spacecraft, but just someone like Bigfoot walking around with a flashlight, or even a kid playing outside in flip-flops. The internet also plays a big part in spreading tales of strange encounters. A recent video from southeastern Colorado went viral when Vivian Gomez claimed her security camera captured a bizarre figure. Some viewers thought it looked like Dobby, a character from Harry Potter, while others suggested it could be a ghost or even an alien. It turned out to be likely a child, illustrating how quick we are to think of extraordinary explanations. Another example comes from a video showing what some believe to be an alien in a graveyard. The footage showed a figure with a very large head hiding behind tombstones, which scared and intrigued many people. This led to comparisons with creatures from horror movies like Predator. In cases like this, we have to wonder why we tend to jump to wild explanations for simple shadows or reflections. Now, let's move from signals in space to strange sightings and encounters here on Earth. The strangest sightings over Hawaii. Moving to another part of the footage, there appears to be an alien figure. This character could easily be mistaken for a figure from a movie, perhaps wearing an expensive, well-crafted costume. Realistically, wouldn't aliens be more secretive if aliens were to visit Earth? Imagine them using devices to erase human memories, similar to the tools used in the Men in Black films. Instead, this supposed alien seems unconcerned with hiding, freely posing and strutting as if participating in a fashion show. A viewer named Mash Hatai shared a video showing strange lights in the sky, which he noticed while up late at night. He recorded this unusual sight from Kaka'ako, initially observing 2 bright lights, which were soon joined by a third. He believed the lights were positioned over Central or West Oahu, seeing up to 10 lights in total. This phenomenon might make some think of visitors from another planet, or it could simply be someone experimenting with illuminated drones. Another observer, Mizina Sapien, reported seeing something out of the ordinary in the sky around Halakala Avenue. Shortly after, a woman named Mariah from Princess Kahanu Estates witnessed the same spectacle. Although she had never been inclined to believe in UFOs, the intriguing sight of this bright blue object led her and her family to follow it. They pursued the object until it seemed to plunge into the ocean near the Board of Water Supply building. This event raises questions. Could it be that these supposed alien visitors are residing underwater? This would explain why they have remained undiscovered, hidden beneath the ocean rather than in outer space. The community's reaction, especially in online comments, shows a keen interest in sharing personal experiences of unusual occurrences. Every unexpected light in the sky or inexplicable figure seems to ignite discussions about potential extraterrestrial activity. This public fascination reflects a broader human interest in unexplained phenomena and the thrill of the unknown, even if these are supported more by imagination than by evidence. Some believe that aliens might be hiding in the deepest parts of the Mariana Trench, where humans can't reach. It's an interesting thought that somewhere below there could be another world just out of our sight. On land, there are people brave enough to chase after objects in the sky they think might be from other worlds. They do this even at night, when it's dark and cool, ideal weather for a good night's sleep, if not for the potential of otherworldly visitors. Sometimes, flashes light up the night sky. At first, you might think it's a shooting star, but often, it's nothing special. On some nights, local weather forecasters try to make their reports more exciting by suggesting these lights could be something incredible. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has confirmed seeing strange shapes above military ships off California's coast. These shapes, captured in videos by filmmaker Jeremy Cole, included images of a spherical object taken from the USS Omaha. A group called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force is looking into these videos. This task force, despite its name sounding like something from a movie, is seriously studying these incidents. Local reporters can get quite excited about the possibility of alien crafts. When the Pentagon steps in, they explain that these are simply unidentified objects. This doesn't necessarily mean they come from another planet. They could be anything from drones to new types of aircraft, which is comforting to some degree. Many unidentified flying objects were seen in the sky. One might question if aliens aliens are attempting to invade Earth. Could these not be friendly visitors, as often depicted in films? Alternatively, it might not be about extraterrestrial visitors at all, but rather hidden operations by other nations using advanced flying technology to spy on us. The uncertainty of the situation brings real fear to those who witness it. Early the next morning, one of these unidentified flying objects landed on a beach in Florida. Driven by curiosity, a group of people, including us, went to the beach to see what had happened. However, as we tried to get closer to the object, police officers at the scene stopped us and sent us away. Later, when we got back home, things got even stranger. A man was standing near our house, and unfamiliar cars were frequently seen parked outside. We half-jokingly thought about whether it was time to move, considering a UFO had just landed nearby. The event seemed like it was taken straight from a conspiracy movie. Agents, similar to those in the Men in Black films, appearing and quietly asking about any strange happenings seen. It's the kind of situation that makes you want to quickly pack up and leave. During a formal session, 3 military veterans discussed their direct encounters with UFOs while serving. Among them, retired Navy Commander David Fravor described a notable event from 2004 which had been captured on video. These unidentified flying objects, referred to as UAPs by the military, encompass any airborne objects that initially defy identification. While some are eventually identified as commonplace items such as weather balloons or drones, there remain incidents, such as the one in 2004, which continue to evade straightforward explanation. It was noted that several years elapsed before any officials revisited this peculiar incident, and even then, no substantial actions were taken. Next, we'll look at the experiences of people who claim to have seen unidentified aerial phenomena, the hidden risks in our skies. The session also revealed the existence of a support group for aviators who have reported encounters with UAPs. This group, known as Americans for Safe Aerospace, was established by former Navy pilot Ryan Graves. It assists pilots who have reported witnessing unexplainable phenomena. The existence of such a group raises questions about what these pilots experience and what consequences they face after making their reports. Graves mentioned that the objects observed by both military and commercial pilots exhibit maneuvers that surpass our current technological capabilities. He expressed a belief that public awareness of the sensor and video data he had accessed would significantly alter the ongoing discourse about these aerial phenomena. Further discussion at the session focused on refining the processes associated with reporting UAP sightings. The objectives include eliminating the stigma attached to such reports and ensuring proper oversight of the governmental programs that investigate these phenomena. A former intelligence officer highlighted that he and his colleagues had endured what he described as administrative terrorism due to their involvement in reporting UAPs. He shared that there were moments when he feared for his personal safety, emphasizing the daunting and sometimes threatening environment faced by those who report these unusual sightings. This narrative paints a picture of the complex challenges and bureaucratic hurdles encountered by those seeking to clarify the unexplained phenomena observed in the skies. A hot topic during the hearings was the risk involved in ignoring or not encouraging reports about UAPs. This oversight could lead to serious safety risks for the nation. Prominent voices like Democratic Representative Robert Garcia from California have urged intelligence agencies to stop keeping UAP information hidden because these objects might threaten both military and civilian aircraft. Greater awareness and openness about UAPs are believed to improve safety. Grush, a former intelligence officer, revealed some disturbing practices like cover-ups and mistreatment of those who dared to speak out. He even hinted at severe repercussions for disclosing sensitive information, including threats of harm or worse, yet remained cryptic, redirecting serious inquiries to other authorities. Response to Grush's claims, Pentagon spokesperson Sue Gulf declared them unfounded. But given the situation, skepticism about the official denial remains high. Ryan Graves, a former Navy pilot, discussed frequent encounters with unexplained aerial objects, such as a dark gray or black cube within a clear sphere, able to remain still despite strong winds off Virginia Beach. He stressed that such encounters are not isolated incidents, but part of a recurring issue that is often overlooked by higher authorities. Despite reporting these incidents, his and his squadron's concerns were seemingly ignored. Graves pointed out that despite numerous sightings, very few are officially reported, only about 5%. This low number is largely due to the fear of ridicule or career repercussions, even though these sightings could indicate either foreign surveillance devices or something even more significant. Commander David Fravor, a retired Navy officer, recounted his experience with a tic-tac-shaped object that demonstrated incredible technological capabilities far beyond our own, which disappeared right before his and his colleagues' eyes. Grush also suggested that military funds might have been redirected to study and possibly replicate this advanced technology. While recent hearings have provided some insights, they have also left us with more unanswered questions, fueling ongoing debates and speculation. Skeptics like Representative Eric Burleson from Missouri find it hard to believe that technologically advanced beings could fail so conspicuously. Meanwhile, NASA continues its search for life in the universe, exploring planets and moons, yet has found no concrete evidence of life beyond Earth. Still, the idea that Earth might not be the only planet with intelligent life persists, supported by statements from organizations like the Planetary Society. Rumors about Dulce Base in New Mexico have been around for decades. It's said to be a place where top-secret activities happen, including experiments that mix human and alien DNA. These stories started in the 1980s, and they continue to capture people's imaginations and fears, suggesting hidden alien involvement at this remote site. As these intriguing and unsettling rumors spread, there's a growing demand for more openness and truth about unidentified aerial phenomena. People want clear, honest information because they are curious and concerned for their safety. Discussions about the mysterious events in the sky are becoming more urgent, with people pushing hard for real answers and an end to secrecy. Meanwhile, at the Department of Otherworldly Labyrinth Base, researchers are said to be conducting their own experiments. They are reportedly creating beings with both human and alien traits. These hybrid creatures are part of a mysterious project that might be aimed at making humans more capable in ways that are not yet clear. This adds another layer of mystery and concern about what these experiments could mean. Dr. Young-Ha Chi, a Korean language instructor at Oxford's Oriental Institute, has presented an unusual perspective on the phenomenon of alien abductions. He argues that these incidents are not harmful, but are attempts by aliens to tackle climate change. In a lecture delivered in 2012, Dr. Chi explained that advanced extraterrestrials have been contacting Earth and merging their genetic material with humans. He suggests that the timing of increased abductions is linked to critical developments on Earth, such as the creation of nuclear weapons and escalating climate change issues. According to him, these extraterrestrials believe that a new, more intelligent hybrid species would be better equipped to manage Earth's challenges and prove human inferiority. Let's dive into the bizarre stories of human-alien interactions and what they might mean. Strange tales of human-alien interactions. The Friendship case, which took place in Italy during the 1950s and 60s, involved encounters between humans and an advanced alien race. These aliens reportedly engaged in discreet interactions with humans in rural settings, where they shared their advanced technological and spiritual knowledge. The stated goal of these aliens was to promote peace and environmental balance. However, there are suggestions that these friendly encounters may have led to the creation of human-alien hybrids. Antonio's encounter with beings from another world seems as though it's lifted from a cheap science fiction film, complete with odd-looking creatures with round, small, beady eyes and pale hair. One might find it amusing to visualize, and even more so when Antonio describes one of them as rather appealing. What followed his intriguing meeting was even more peculiar, an intimate interaction, after which he was abruptly left alone in a field, without so much as a polite gesture of farewell. The discomfort of discussing this with his family would be intense. Really, that's the kind of story best kept between close friends, sparing one's parents the strange details. This strange story eventually got the Brazilian military's attention and sparked local authorities' curiosity, attracting a flurry of media and UFO enthusiasts. Compared to other frightful stories like that of Travis Walton, who underwent harsh experiments, Antonio's experience seems somewhat mild. He was relatively lucky in the grand context of alien encounters. Then there is Dr. David M. Jacobs, a history professor at Temple University, who changed his views after talking to people who claimed they had been taken by extraterrestrials for 35 years. Each story was so similar to the others, leading him to develop a troubling theory. Extraterrestrials are mixing their species with humans to take over Earth. It's a wild suggestion that might make one either seriously worried or skeptical. We also have David Huggins, an artist whose work depicts his alleged experiences with extraterrestrial beings. For him, these paintings aren't just imaginative works. They represent actual events starting from when he was 8 years old. His most unusual claim involves an encounter with an alien hybrid named Crescent. According to Huggins, his interactions with Crescent were intimate and resulted in more than 50 hybrid children who, he claims, continue to visit him. This adds a whole new layer to his extraordinary claims about his non-human family. Imagine a scenario where people claim to see traditional gray-skinned aliens and their bug-like leaders. These stories might remind you of scenes from low-budget science fiction films. It's hard to say whether these tales are true or just someone's idea of fun. Either way, the storyteller is making the most of it, turning these bizarre stories into intriguing, albeit slightly eerie, artwork. Consider Simon Parkes, a figure from British politics who also claims to have been abducted by aliens. Parkes shares tales of extraterrestrial contact from his early childhood. He recounts an encounter with a towering green alien who claimed to be his biological mother when he was an infant. This alien, described by Parkes as resembling a praying mantis, supposedly communicated with him throughout his life. Despite his incredible claims, Parkes insists these experiences do not interfere with his everyday duties, such as home repairs or addressing local infrastructure issues like potholes. Linda Moulton Howe is another figure focused on the unexplained, particularly unidentified flying objects and their alleged occupants. Howe has conducted numerous interviews with individuals who claim to have encountered aliens, including those who describe meetings with human-alien hybrids. In her extensive career, she has investigated many stories involving abductions and claims of alien-led genetic experiments. Another intriguing case involves Jeffrey Allen Lash, whose story became widely known after his death in Los Angeles in 2015. When Lash passed away, authorities found a large collection of weapons, ammunition, and cash at his residence. His fiancée, Catherine Nebron, claimed Lash was a hybrid of human and alien origin, possessing extraordinary abilities and on a hidden T mission on Earth. Despite her convictions, details about Lash's life and his so-called mission remain unclear. Now, the well-documented experience of Betty and Barney Hill adds to the collection of alleged alien encounters. In 1961, this American couple reported being followed by a strange light while driving at night in rural New Hampshire. This light led to an encounter with a UFO and its occupants. The Hills described a frightening series of events, including losing track of time and later, under hypnosis, recalled being taken aboard the craft and subjected to medical procedures by short, gray-skinned beings. Hill's tale is one of the most detailed and extensively examined in the history of alien abductions. Do these tales reveal a hidden truth about alien life? Or are they mere products of imagination? Leave a comment and subscribe for more.